My name is Stella, and today I want to share that I started a full-time position today. Um, I think it was like my third video that I uploaded. I shared a video of myself praying the rosary because I was feeling so burnt out and I didn't know what my next career move would be. And today I get to happily share that my first day at my new full time position was wholesome, it was smooth, it was light, it was easy. Of course, there were obstacles, but even on the first day, I knew where to go find proper resources or like who to reach out to when I came across a problem. Um, yeah, and it felt really good. Um, my best friend says that my previous workplace was basically a toxic relationship, and I'm like being wowed by basics. For example, um, I said, hey, can you believe that I got my work laptop and a keyboard and blah, 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 and like all the tech stuff? Can you believe I got that on the first day? And can you believe that we have a shared SharePoint, like a cloud for Microsoft Office, where all of the folders are organized and I have all of my resources available in one place? And they were like, Stella, that's like the basics of the first day of work. Um, but from my previous experience, my previous employer, that was something that my colleagues and I were always talking about improving for the next new hires. We always talked about how we should consolidate all of our resources together and come up with a shared drive where anyone can access um, information. Um, I never even knew at my old workplace that we were supposed to be given work laptops um, because from day one we were all just using our personal laptops. Um, yeah, one of my colleagues from my other place, they bought a separate work laptop, and we just thought that was the norm. Granted, my other employer, my other place of employment, it was a brand new program, and that was actually one of the big reasons why I um, wanted to work with them is because I wanted to be part of like the day one group, helping them build the program from the ground up. Um, and if I'm keeping this very vague, I should just, I've shared before that I am a registered nurse. And as an RN, it's been about 2 years since I transitioned over to being a full time um, educator. So, um, yeah, I've been teaching off and on. First, I started as an adjunct 1 year after I got my RN license. So I've been teaching off and on for 6 years now. And of those 6 years, I've been teaching full time for about 2 years after getting my master's in nursing education in 2023. Um, so, yeah, all that to say, today was a really fulfilling day. Um, And oh, another thing I wanted to share. In preparation for my first day today, I went to weekday mass every day last week. So starting from Monday last week, I went to weekday mass. Um, 4 of the 5 days I went in the morning, and then one of the days I ended up going to an afternoon mass. And that afternoon mass, um, I'm really glad it happened the way it did because it was afternoon mass or because it was that parish, I was able to participate in adoration. And I didn't even know that they were having adoration after mass. As soon as I walked into the chapel, I saw the monstrance um, already out, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then right after mass, before the priest walked back into the rectory, he like did his thing and put the host inside the monstrance. And I was like, oh, I guess it's happening. I guess adoration is happening right now, back to back. And it was such a blessing to be there, honestly, because I've been meaning to go to adoration for a while now. My home parish, we have adoration the first Friday of every month, but for one reason or another, I kept missing it and wasn't able to attend. So to have stumbled upon, I got chills, to have stumbled upon adoration like that was such a big blessing. Um, what else? I also wanted to share that um, last semester was my last semester. So the end of spring semester was my last semester with my previous employer. And it was kind of a last minute decision, kind of not. I was able to give them a 2 week notice before the semester was over. And mind you, um, the state I'm living in, um, and I think a lot of states in the US actually, um, at will employers and at will employee is the default, I believe. And what that means is the employer and the employee are able to terminate that relationship. Um, so the employer can lay you off for any reason, and the employee can quit for any reason, as long as it's not like targeted termination, if that makes sense, for like religious reasons or sexual identity reasons, or like as long as it's not like, I guess, a hate crime type of thing. Um, yeah, you don't even need like a valid reason to quit. However, all that to say, I was able to give my 2 week notice, which I think is common courtesy in a normal workplace. I was able to give them the 2 week notice before the semester ended. My 2 week notice ended up being exactly the last day of the semester. Um, I like to think we ended on good terms, or at least okay terms. Um, my past employer actually still owes me money, which is a whole nother thing. But I chose to walk away from the money, and it was kind of like I would rather have the peace of mind than to like reach out and be like, hey, you still owe me this. They probably don't know that they still, no, they know that they owe me a big chunk of money. They don't know that I don't think they know that I still haven't been reimbursed for one work related event. Um, but anyways, what I brought that up because yes, I was able to give them a 2 week notice. Yes, I was able to prepare myself before my last day came. And of course, I thought about it a lot and prayed on it a lot, and um, confided in my close friends and family before I made the decision to leave that previous place of employment. But still, um, it was still, the unpredictability was a little bit scary, right? I knew that I had enough money saved up to be able to last a minimum 6 months of not working. But even with that prep, um, it still felt a little scary. And my personality is that I've gotten a lot better now, but I'm the um a part of me can never fully relax. I'm like, if I have downtime, I feel like I'm wasting my time, and I feel like I need to do something productive with that time. That is something that I have been working on and have made a lot of improvements on. Like, I'm able to just watch a movie without doing something extra. Um, I am able to just have a weekend off without volunteering somewhere or without doing some type of work. Um, like, if now I'm at a place where it feels so good to just stop and stare at the clouds. Um, yeah, it's a really good feeling. However, when the semester ended, our regular spring break ended, and when the new summer semester started, um, was supposed to start, and I was at home, I felt a little lost. I felt a little regretful, and I even wonder if I had made a mistake leaving the toxic work environment. Um, but by praying on it, by trusting in God's timing, trusting in God's plan, and just trusting that, like, as cheesy as it sounds, like, let go and let God, that's really what I had to surrender to, or what I came to surrender to. And I can look back on how I can look back on, I think now it's been 10 plus weeks, and I can look back on that time and say that it was time well spent. I feel well rested. I feel recharged. There is a difference between resting and recharging, and I'm happy to share that another time. But um, yeah, even though in the moment I felt like I wasn't making the best use of my time and all of that, looking back, I think it was much needed, and I spent that time well. I had a gardening internship, like I've been sharing in my CSA videos. I learned a lot during my gardening farming internship. I made great relationships. Um, I actually look up to Deb a lot, and I think she is so wise, so smart, and knowledgeable, and she just has such a good heart. And I hope that she can remain one of my mentors slash good friends for a long time. Um, I picked up guitar finally after, I think this is my fourth attempt at learning the guitar. But I've learned um, six of the eight major chords, not major, but like main chords. I just have C and F left. And after that, I think I should be able to move on to actual songs. Um, Let me just challenge myself, try to remember it. I know the G chord, E major and minor, so that's two. A sus two, A minor, and D. So yeah, six chords out of the eight main ones. And I'm learning through Marty Music on YouTube. A big shout out to him. He's really good at explaining things, and the videos are short and sweet. So, farming internship, I learned how to play the guitar, or starting to. I picked up guitar. I spent good quality time with my friends. Um, I spent good quality time with my family too. If it wasn't for this break, I wouldn't have been able to go on the Mexico mission trip with my mom and her church people, or her group of church people. Yeah, and I really do have to get back to making that video on Our Lady of Guadalupe. Um, and so there was a Mexico mission trip. There was the music festival that I went to with my friends. Usually it's like the core group of the three of us, but this time we were able to extend that invitation to our other friends, and they were actually able to make it. And so it was like a good eight of us, I think. So that was really wholesome. My heart was so full after that trip. I got to hang out with my immediate family after that music festival, before and after that music festival trip. And then next week, because of this break that I took, and because I didn't work this summer semester with my old employer, this next week, no, this week, this Friday, I'm getting on an early morning flight and flying to Maui with my immediate family, my cousin, her husband, and her baby boy that she just had. And then we're meeting in Maui and staying at my aunt's um, home. She invited us over, and so we're staying for 5 nights and 6 days. or 6 nights and 7 days or something like that. And I wouldn't have been able to do all of these, um, take these amazing trips and spend quality time with my friends and family if I hadn't taken the summer off. And so, although the beginning felt really rocky and I felt really unsure about my decision, I think in hindsight, it was a really good thing to leave. And I hate to call it a toxic work environment, but it really was. And I left because I felt my mental health really taking a hit. And part of me feels a little guilty for leaving two of my close coworkers behind, to like figure it out with the remaining people. Um, but I don't think they look at it that way. I think I'm just, part of me just wishes that I could have, that things, part of me wishes things could have gotten better sooner. Um, but I, I had to leave for my mental health. Um, and I don't even want to look back on that rosary video because I was just struggling so much during that time. Um, and actually, I think I want to do a separate video on like burnout in the workplace, because shortly after I gave my notice, I went to a Young Catholic Professionals event about workplace burnout and anxiety at the workplace. And I received a piece of paper that had signs and symptoms of burnout, and I checked off like 18 out of 24 of them or something. So that was a real eye opener. Um, yeah. So thanks for letting me share that I started at a new full time place of work. Thanks for letting me share that I went to weekday mass every day last week. I think I'm going to try to keep this up for as long as I can, the weekday mass, before going to work, because it really is a great way to start my day. And then, so my full time job, weekday mass, and then sharing about my time well spent. Um, to go from telling my old manager, my old director type person, that I would rather take the unpredictability of unemployment rather than the unpredictability of our workplace, to now being able to say that my first day at my new place went really smoothly feels really good. And granted, today was just the first day where I was just doing onboarding and orientation modules. That's another one. My previous place, we didn't have orientation, but here everything is so well organized and I have a checklist that's actually going to be checked. And yeah, it's very thorough. So um, I think it's a little too soon to say that I like this new place is amazing, it's great. I can't say that yet because I haven't even done real work yet, just orientation. But today, the first day felt really good. Um, and I'm really excited for what's to come. And I will check back in to share any new updates. Excuse me. I burped. Um, yeah, so thanks for letting me share. I'll be back to share more. Bye.